Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to take a little look at the Space Marine Heroes 3 stuff from the Warhammer community site. So, there was a leak, there was a little thing that went out talking about the new Space Marine Heroes series, Series 3, obviously, and it turned out to be Death Guard. And there was some nicely, kind of dimly lit photos that it looks like had been taken a bit dodgily, and of course, Warhammer community were all over that and put the actual pictures up so we can take a good look at what they have in store. And I'm genuinely excited and happy about this, because Space Marine Heroes 3 doesn't really have heroes. It actually has, like, villains, anti-heroes, if you will, because it's Death Guard. They're actually branching out and going chaos and stuff, which makes me happy for a number of reasons. Firstly, because that means it is beyond the realm of just doing Space Marines, even though it's Space Marines Heroes, so, you know, take your pick. But it does mean that now we have the chance of seeing more things in the way of chaos, more interesting models that aren't just like more tactical, more, I mean, I say more tactical and more Terminator models and stuff like that. That isn't a bad thing. I just always like it when Games Workshop step outside the chosen few, the boys in power armor that are on the good side, inverted commas all over that. Actually getting Death Guard out of this is really cool, and I really do like these models. They look pretty good. I don't know what it is, but I feel like these are slightly less busy overall than the Death Guard stuff we currently have. One of the things that I do like the Death Guard redesign, but a lot of the models are very, very busy. They're very indistinct when you look at them from a distance. There can be a lot of overwhelming detail, and it can get a little bit fuzzy. Like, some of the impact is lost. This doesn't seem that bad, this first guy. I mean, yeah, there are maggots all over him, but in terms of, you know, a mass of chainmail, like huge, ridiculous growths all over his body, in terms of stuff like that, it's actually pretty restrained. It's fairly relatively clean for a new Death Guard model. And some of the details on there, I'm not a massive fan of the flies. They're okay. They're not something I would choose to put on a model myself. But even looking at this, to be honest, it kind of looks like you could get away with removing most of the stuff that you might not like from this model. It looks genuinely pretty easy to mess with, which I'm impressed with, to be honest. Again, that is an issue that I have with some of the Death Guard stuff, where there's stuff on there that you might not really want on there if you're that way inclined, and getting it off is a pain in the arse. With this one, a little bit of cutting and filing, and you can still have that nice kind of stream of corruption coming from the staff without necessarily having all the flies all over it, which is quite a nice change to the overall way that Death Guard seem to have been going. There is a lot of maggots, let's be honest. There's a huge amount of maggots, but to be honest, the rest of it is relatively clean. It's a decent model. I do like that. Nice. So there's also this chap. It would appear, by the way, that this guy comes with 2 different head options. In fact, I think both of them do, which is, again, is nice. This one a bit more new Death Guard. You know, growths over the helmet, the shoulder pad, and the backpack. They're not too over the top, though, actually. I don't mind them so much on this one. They're not too excessive. They're not like Lord Felthius and his bodyguard, which some of those models are very overdone. That's relatively restrained, and again, is something that you could probably get rid of if you really wanted to. Although, to be honest, I think it works pretty well on that model. I like the setup of the helmet as well, with the three holes, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. That's a nice touch. Yeah, that is, again, quite a nice model. To be honest, I always like seeing a Nurgling. Nurglings are class. Nurglings are great. I mean, my appreciation for Nurglings did go up significantly when they released the little sassy Nurgling. But overall, Nurglings are always welcome on Death Guard models, in my opinion. And this one, even for a Nurgling, looks kind of messed up, to be honest. It really does look pretty mangled. Yeah, again, quite a nice model, that one. And then the last one that we have on here is a Terminator. And Much though I like the fact they're branching out into Chaos, and we are getting some representation for the other side, so to speak. Seeing new Terminator models is not something I'm going to complain about. Terminators are one of my favourite units, favourite models across all of the Space Marine range. Pretty much all of the different Terminators look great, so seeing more Terminators is never going to be something I actually really complain about. I mean, there are 21 Terminators behind me on the shelf, and I've been thinking about expanding that army with some Tartarus and some Cataphracti, actually. I mean, it's totally worthless. It'll never win a game, and in fact never has won a game ever, but having 31 Terminators is definitely better than having 21, so it's difficult to resist the urge, to be totally honest. But yeah, I do like this. I like the battle damage on this one especially. It's just a little bit here and there. It's not hugely overdone. It doesn't look like he's been through an absolute war zone. It looks like the start of the fight almost. It looks like there's been an engagement and he's come out alive, but there's just little telltale things here and there. The bullet hole in the leg is a nice touch, and the chips in the helmet, again, quite nicely done. And I do like that. I do like those lightning claws as well. They're nicely painted. They look cool. So yeah, the new Space Marine Hero Series 3 stuff actually looks pretty fun. Death Guard? I mean, you can't complain about that. You can't complain about that. We're actually getting some variation in the power armor, and technically they are still Space Marines, so it still counts. It just means that Chaos is getting a bit of a look in, as well as just the standard Space Marine chapters that we're used to getting to all the attention for promotional stuff. So yeah, nice. Like it. Let me know what you think of those models in the comments down below. Do you like the Death Guard stuff? Do you like the Terminator? I mean, if you don't like the Terminator, what even is your problem? Let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video subscribe, all that shit. Click it if you like. Don't click if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.